6.
Hi, how are you all? Okay, just wait for 5 minutes. My screen visible to all. You've seen one program task. So given a railway seat number, the task is to check whether it is a valid seat number also or not. Also print its berth type. You've seen my screen. Okay. So please look at this figure. So there, please mute your mics and switch off your video. I have low bandwidth because in my area just. So we just look at the figure. So it is all, it is familiar with all. So when you enter the train, so how the beds are arranged. So, for each compartment we have 10, they are divided into 10 areas, 10 blocks. So each block consists of 6 seats. That means, both opposite left, right. If you enter into that left, right, 1, 2, 3, again opposite side 4, 5, 6. They're given the numbers like that. So again second region, second block, again it starts the 9, 10, 11. So another one is, so side lower berth and side upper berth, 7, 8. So again next second block, it starts 9, 10, 11. So in this manner for each compartment. So the task is, when you enter the, suppose when you enter the number 33, input if you are given 33, immediately the output is lower berth output. So suppose they are given the example input 10. Input 10, when you enter the input 10, the output printed like middle berth. So that is the task, how to solve this program, this problem in C programming. How to solve. So any idea? Please think 1 minute. So just, the seating arrangement in our railway compartment just like that. So when you enter the input, suppose 50, the output printed middle berth. So how we solve this problem? If you have any idea, so switch. So please look at the code. So the simple thing here is, by using just if else if ladder. So just we are using to solve that problem if else if ladder. So I am using the function concept. So furtherly we see in function concept, we just look at the code logic. So here we just using the condition like if yes, yes, the total number of seats per compartment is total seats. How many seats are there total? So these are 6, another 2, total 8. So 10 into 8. 9. So 9. So 9. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 into, so total seats are 6, 7, 8. So 8. 9 into 8. So we have 72. So that's we taken the range 0 to 73. If s greater than 0, so in between, I mean, we are giving the limit is if s greater than 0 and s less than 73. So in that, so they are checked that if why, because for each block we have 8 seats. So the given number divides with the 8, the remainder gives 1 or 4. We given that it is a lower berth. Yes, correct. So for the lower berth, 1 or 1, 4. So which if you enter the number 17, 20 or 25, 28, if any number given in that, so those numbers are given the remainders 1 and 4. So that's why we print that numbers belongs to the lower berth. Next one is if else if s remainder 8 equal to 2 or 5. So 2, 5, 8, those are belongs to the middle berth. So for that row, for all the blocks, they are giving the remainders 2 and 5. So if you give the input number 10, so it gives the remainder, s remainder 8, so 2, so it belongs to the middle berth. So we solve this type of problem task by using simple else if. That is, this problem is given in the TCS ION competitive program for our 4th years. So it is solved by using that simple logic. Okay? Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? So we just, here in the programming domain, the only thing is we are all know the concepts and syntaxes, everyone. But that only thing here is the logic. So you practice programs on your own, in your own way. So if any problems, just you seen in very virtual labs or HackerRank, any website, you work on, by yourself on your individual way, you just try to solve that task. Otherwise, if you just go through the Google and copy paste, you didn't get, you didn't improve yourself if you go through like that. Okay, first you just try on yourself, individual way, you just write your own code. Then only you will, you got the thoughts. Why? Because in our, after the in the final year, for the competitive examinations, they are not provide any Google search. Okay, so we are only which person practices on your own way, then only he got the thoughts. Otherwise, we always wants to search that code in Google it simply. Okay, so please try on your individual way. So we are all know the syntaxes, but the applicability, the logic is very important for a good programming. Okay, so okay, wait. So we are discussed in the last section. So looping constructs. So in that we seen the entry control loops and exit control loops. So for entry, the example of the looping is while and for loop. So exit control loops for the example is do while. So in the while loop, so in the while loop, we just you just seen the syntax while test condition in the curly braces body of the loop. So before the test condition in the whiles for the while, so must give initialization. So in the body of the loop, another one is incrementation step. Okay, so if you want to execute some set of statements repeatedly until the test condition is true. So you just seen the example is example for the while loop. So you want to print 10 numbers. you want to print just 1 to 10 numbers. So if you use the while loop, so first variable declaration, after that you must initialize the counter variable. Counter variable is nothing but to maintain for each loop, you maintain, you update the counter, how many iterations we are done. So for that purpose, we maintain the counter. Just like in my college days, my faculty taught that. So if you went to the temple, we are doing productions around the temple. So suppose if you want to do 101 productions, we keep some counters, just like some flowers, 101 flowers or some leaves. When we make the one production, we put flower in front of the god. So that's why we made. So after the completion of the 101, so you need not to count when you around when you do production around the temple. So we just maintain the we just maintain the counter for that reason. So we are maintaining I as the counter variable. So to update how many iterations we are done. So in the condition here is while I less than or equal to 10. So how we form the conditions is by using the relational operators. If you want to check more or conditions, they are just combined with logical operators. So here we want to just print 1 to 10 numbers. So first our counter starts the value, our loop starts with the first value I equal to 1. 1 less than or equal to 10. True. So if the condition is true, then only we enter into the body. So the task is very simple. We just print the 1 to 10 values. So here I am writing just writing the statement printf I. So I value, you want to print I value. So the I maintains value. So first I is 1. So we print the 1. So if you want to here the incrementation step. So that's why if you we are going in incremental way. That's we are going in incremental manner. So that's why we are writing. So we are only increment the loop only 1. I plus plus means I equal to I plus 1. So initially I is 1. So if after the incrementation step, now I is 2. Again it goes to the loop condition 2 less than 10. 2 less than 10 is true. Again we enter into the body. Up to condition may be 5, we exit from the body. So after the, for which condition we fail, for which value of the I, we fail that condition, we exit from that loop for I equal to 11. 11 less than or equal to 10. 11 less than or equal to 10. For that condition, for that condition, we exit from that loop. And that is the program flow when we are using the while. So initialization, after that test, if the condition is true, we entered into the body of the loop. After that, body of the loop, nothing but, so what are the things you want, we repeatedly, so print that statements, those are executed. So after that increment, you may use decrement, whatever it may be. So again, we go to the check condition. If the condition is false, we exit from the body of the loop. That is the concept of the while loop. Next one is do while. It is a do while. It is the difference from while to do while is it is exit control loop. That means first we enter into the body of the loop. After that we check the condition. So do, in the do we have no condition test. So do, we enter into the body of the loop, while test condition, put semicolon. So that is the syntax of the do while loop. Okay. So here they given one example for that. So void main empty number, do printf enter any number, scanf, you have entered number while number less than or equal to 100. So first we enter into the body of the loop. So we scan, suppose I am enter the 120 number. So I am enter the number through keyboard 120. So printf you entered number, so we print the number 120. So after that while number less than equal to 100, 120 less than or equal to 100 is true or false? False. 120 less than or equal to 100, false. So we exit from the condition, but before that, so we already printed that number 120. So here is before checking the condition, at least one time we are executing these statements. So this type of do while loop are mostly used. Suppose at least one time, if you want to execute the statements at least one time, so you use do while loop. Is just like for that purpose. So after that, checking the condition, it falls. So we exit from the loop. That is the concept of do while. So first initialization, body of the loop, decrement, increment, whatever it may be. So after that we check the condition. If the condition is true, we execute the statements. If the condition is false, we came into the, we exit from the loop. So that is the concept of the do while. So another next one is for loop. So in the for loop, you familiar with syntax, right? So why? Because in our computer C programming laboratory, we already do experiments on the for loop. So for initialization test condition, so please mute your mic. I don't know who are enabled. So Priyanka, please mute your mic. Okay. For initialization test condition, increment or decrement, body of the loop. So statements we want to repeat until some condition is true. Those statements we are putting in the block switch. Okay, for loop body. So in that, so mostly the example for the finding the factorial of a given number. So you already do that these type of programs. So initialization, condition and incrementation for I equal to 1. So from which value I am start the start the repetition from I equal to 1. So when we put I equal to 0, here I am perform the multiplication. So the entire total value will be 0. So for some you take I equal to, for some you take the zeros, it's not a problem. For in the multiplication case, you don't take I value is 0 or fact 0. Okay. Why? Because so the entire total value will be goes to 0. That's why we take value is 1. Okay. Int fact equal to 1, n equal to, so these are the variable declaration. Suppose we want to find out the factorial of 5. So for I equal to 1, I less than equal to n, I plus plus. So fact equal to fact into I. So fact value we are taken first 1. 1 into, so I value, initially I am taking the value 1. So fact into I. So 1 into 1, 1. So that goes, that value stored in the fact variable. Again, I value is incrementing. So I value is now 2. 2 less than, n value is 5, true. 2 less than 5, true. So now the fact value is 1. 1 into Now I value is 2. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So fact 1 into 2. Now fact value is 2. So again I value is 3. 3 less than 5. So fact value is 2. 2 into 3, 6. So in this manner we compute the factorial. So we just assigning here we remember that if you want to find out that much, that computations, to find out the aggregates, always the left side and right side we are using the fact. So suppose if you want to find sum equal to sum plus I, so the left side and right side we are using that aggregated variable, so then only we update that counter frequently. Okay. So in this manner we are using the for loop. So initialization, testing the condition. If the condition is true, then only we enter into the body of the loop. After that, so the next step is, after the execution of the body of the loop, the next step is incrementation condition. After that incrementation, again we check the condition. Then again, if it is true, enter into the body. Up to this process is repeated until the condition is true. Otherwise, if the condition is false, we exit from the loop body. Loop statement. Okay. So in the for loop, you can simultaneously use initialization. Multiple initialization facility is also possible. Simultaneously, you can use the multiple increment, decrement statements are also used by just using the comma operator. Okay. So I equal to 1, multiple initializations are also possible, and multiple increment and decrement statements are also possible. You also check that. If you want to simultaneously check the condition, you just simply use the logical AND operator. So what happened if you put semicolon at the end of the for loop? Suppose if you want to put the semicolon at the end of the for loop, what happens? You check that this type of statements in your lab. If you put semicolon at the end of the for loop, so when you put the semicolon at the end of the for loop, we not enter into the body of the loop. So it continuously repeated it, but we are not enter into the body of the loop. So you must check. Suppose if you want to print 1 to 10 numbers by using the for loop, but put semicolon, what will be printed? Please test it. Okay. Next one is nested for loop. Nested for loop. So we are also, you are all familiar with these concepts. Nested for loop. Here is, we put loop inside it, inside the loop, another loop we put that. So that is, we are called as the nested loop. Here they are taking the simple example like, if you want to calculate the, total marks for 4 students. If you want to calculate the total marks for 4 students. So initially they are taking the first outer loop is to, that repetition is how many students are allowed to calculate. So we put the condition is for I equal to 1, I less than equal to 4, I plus plus. So we put the outer condition for to check the, how many students we enter into the loop. So next one is for I j equal to 1, j less than equal to 6, j plus plus is to enter the marks of the, each subject of the marks. We enter the marks for each subject. The second loop works for that reason. So first I equal to 1. So 1 less than 4 is true. So we enter into the body of the loop. So t equal to 0. So total marks is 0. Initially we don't know. So j equal to 1. So if we print marks, we enter the marks up to j1, j2, j3. So up to we reach the condition false. We execute this body of statements. If the condition j is 7, 7 less than 6 is false, we exit the inner for loop and control goes to the inner for loop. Now I is incrementing as 2. Again 2 less than 4. Yes, true. We enter into the body of the loop. So again the process is repeats. Up to the j value is 7, 7 less than equal to 6 is false. We exit the inner for loop body. The control goes to the closest near loop. If we have 3 for loops are there, if we have 3 for loops, the control of the inner for loop goes to the closest near and closed for loop. Right. So after j7 less than equal to 6, the condition is failed. We exit the inner for loop and control goes to the outer for loop. Okay, outer for loop means the closest for loop. Suppose if we have another for loop was also there, so the control goes to the closest near loop. If the that near loop also fails the condition, the condition is also false, that goes to the control flow goes to that closest outer loop. Okay. So in this manner it works. The nested loops are work. Mostly you seen the example for printing the patterns. Okay. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
For loops clear, you just preference printing, then you got idea how the nested loops work. So patterns concept is important for competitive examining also, competitive programming, any TCS. For that reason you practice patterns program. Nested for loops is important concept. Okay, I think everyone understood the concept of nested for loop.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So okay. So just I'm wind up the session. For my laptop, no charging. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So next class, you familiar with the break continue?
Yes, ma'am.
You have an idea about that. So please. So I am next break continue. You familiar with these concepts? Otherwise, suppose I am taking some pattern programs and I will give explanation for that. Some different programs, I will give explanation, or you లేకపోతే నేనేమైనా మీకు డిఫరెంట్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఏమైనా ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసుకుంటారా?
ఇవ్వండి మేడం.
మొన్న చెప్పి చేశారమ్మా? So today I will give one task. So to find out whether given number is circular number or not. So అది సాల్వ్ చేయండి C program లో. Circular number. First circular number definition చూడండి.
తెలిసింది మీ వాళ్ళే చెప్తున్నారని. సరే
హలో
కొంచెం డీడీ బిట్టెక్కలు డబ్బులు మరి. హలో
మేడం ఛార్జింగ్ అయిపోయిందంట ల్యాప్టాప్ కి. వీడి ఇండివిజువల్ గా వెళ్ళిపోయింది. చెప్పు
క్లాస్ అయిపోయింది కదా.
అయిపోయింది.
హలో
హలో, ఎలా ఉన్నారు అందరూ?
సౌమ్య
అయిపోయింది క్లాస్, వెళ్ళిపోండి. ఇంకా ఏం చూస్తున్నారు?
మరి నువ్వేం చేస్తున్నావు?
నేను మీకు చెప్పడానికి ఉన్నా. మేడం ల్యాప్టాప్ ఛార్జింగ్ అయిపోయింది.